This foundational information literacy skills session is designed to help you develop essential research capabilities by learning to identify, articulate, and refine your information needs. This session equips you with the fundamental skills needed to navigate the vast information landscape of modern academic research. So many students will waste valuable time trawling through databases and library catalogues trying to find information to help them answer a research question or complete an assignment when, by completing this step of the process, they can cut that time down by half. Once you've mastered the skills at this stage, you can then go on to explore other titles in the series as and when you need them. But for now, let's concentrate on how to identify your information needs. In life, as in studies, you will regularly encounter the need to seek information. This might be for an assignment, to find out something needed for work, or to help you make an everyday decision. In all cases, before you search, you must know what you're searching for. Getting this right sets the stage for good research. An information need is the gap between what you know and what you need to know. For example, you might need sources for an ethics essay, or to find data on consumer trends. An information need arises any time you face a question or problem that you can't answer with what you already know. When you are studying, this should occur on a regular basis. To find the information you need to complete a number of steps, often in a cyclical structure of refinement. The library at Harper offers guidance through each of these stages in online resources, like this one, through one-to-one appointments, or through skills sessions and tutorials. You're not going to spend equal time on each stage of the strategy. Likely you will spend the majority of your time on stage 3, but it's really important not to miss this essential initial stage. Some of the advantages of having a well-defined search strategy are its efficiency, it saves time and effort and avoids aimlessly searching around, its relevance, it helps you to focus on more relevant resources and to find information directly related to your question or topic. It reduces information overload. At the end of the day, we live in an information age, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information available. A search strategy helps you narrow down your search. It helps improve quality control, helping you identify reputable sources and filter out unreliable information, which is crucial for the credibility of your research. And it helps you keep things organised. A well-defined search strategy will help you keep track of your sources and findings. If you haven't been given a research question, or your assignment task is to explore a topic and/or generate a question of your own, I'd suggest using generative AI to help you generate some ideas to get you thinking. If you use the TIC framework and are careful with your phrasing, you can successfully narrow things down. Here I have used the task, that I need to narrow down my topic, the instruction, to provide me with 5 ways to narrow down on this topic, and the context. I am a first-year undergraduate student conducting scholarly research on student lifestyle and academic impact. In this case, I've also given the AI a persona, which can sometimes be really helpful. I've asked it to act as an expert in this area, being aware of the latest trends in the field. If you have not used generative AI before, I would suggest using one of these platforms to begin with. They are all free on a basic level, and using them in this way does not breach university guidelines or amount to plagiarism. If you are at all uncomfortable with using generative AI in this way, you can come and discuss things with academic guidance or the library staff. However, the process can be followed without the use of AI if you prefer. The QR code or hyperlink will take you to a worksheet that you can use to help guide the process. It can also be downloaded from the library's Learning Hub page. You're going to have a go now. Using the worksheet provided on the Learning Hub, create a prompt asking AI to narrow down a topic area of your choice, and then pick one of the suggested areas to explore further. You can see on screen a sample prompt that you can use and adapt to suit your own information need. Think of a topic you are studying right now, or an assignment you are working on perhaps. Pause the video while you do this. Great. Now select an area from those suggested that you want to explore in more detail and ask it to create a research question for you. Again, there is a prompt on screen that you can adapt. Complete the rest of page 2 on the worksheet. Pause the video while you do this. If you have completed the first 2 pages of the worksheet, you should now have a question you need to answer, and you need to locate information to help you do so. You might instead be wanting to use a question related to an assignment you are working on, or a current research question. It doesn't matter. The first thing you'll need to do is to identify the keywords or phrases in your question. Keywords are the most descriptive terms in a question, or a quick description of a topic. If you write out the question or topic, you could remove the articles and connective words to narrow down to the keywords. For example, in How do sleep duration, sleep quality and sleep timing patterns influence cognitive performance outcomes in undergraduate students, I wouldn't pick influence or outcomes as keywords because they only describe the relationship between the keywords that I have put in bold on the screen. Most databases are designed for keyword searching. This means these databases are more powerful if you use these types of short, descriptive words and phrases, and if you find the right keywords, it is much easier to find the information that you are looking for. Because of this, it's helpful to have a list of keywords available when you start a search, and that you can add to during your search. Be aware that it's likely that the first keywords you select won't give you the right information that you need. If you are unsure as to what the keywords are in your assignments or research question, then try asking AI. Again, there is a prompt on screen that you can adapt for your own question or assignment. What are the key searchable concepts in your research question? Try to identify the main keywords on your own by pulling out words from the essay or assignment question that are not articles or connectives. Then use generative AI and the TIC framework to get AI to do the same. Finally, reflect on the differences between your response and that of AI. If you're listening to this video, pause the recording and identify the keywords in your question or use AI to help you. It's really important to turn your information need into questions to help clarify your thinking and guide your search. Some of you might find it helpful to ask who, what, when, where, why, and how. You might also want to start thinking about the wider context associated with the question and how that might influence your findings. In the case of the example assignment on screen now, explore the impact of climate change on property values in coastal areas, you might want to find out more about government policy, economic viability, or tourism, for example. Your turn again now. Which of these could be information needs that arise from the question, explore the impact of climate change on property values in coastal areas? On the right-hand side of the screen, you've got 6 suggested questions. Which do you think could be information needs that arise from that question? The answer is all of them. So just consider how many different things you will need to research to bring together a fully formed response to the assignment. Different questions also require different resources, which will affect where you search. This can be covered in some of our later sessions. Think about the assignment suggested here and the questions that have been brainstormed around it. Some of the answers will be down to personal choice, whereas others need some additional research. My advice with where to start looking is to start broad. If you're new to the topic, use your resource lists, known as Harlow, to begin with. These are lists of resources compiled by your tutors as a good place to start. Then begin to explore the databases the university subscribes to. You can get more help on all of this from the sessions S2, S4, or the database series. Thinking more about what you don't know but need to find out can also help you when it comes to reading the sources themselves and engaging with what you read in an active way. See R8 for further help on this. However, back to our keywords. Not all authors writing on a certain topic will use the same vocabulary. There might be regional variations, for example, or levels of formality that affect their language choices. Sometimes words even change or go out of fashion over time. For example, terms like machine learning and artificial intelligence were in common use 10 years ago, but phrases like cognitive computing and expert systems are now out of fashion. However, if your information need involved looking at the progression of AI, you would need to search these old-fashioned terms along with those you are more familiar with today to produce returns of earlier material. On screen is an image that should be familiar to you, but my guess is that you will all call them by different names. Use the QR code or hyperlink to navigate to Microsoft Whiteboard to share the term you would use and see what others might call them. What you've just produced are synonyms, different words that mean the same thing. Using AI to identify synonyms of keywords is the modern equivalent of using a thesaurus, so ethically this is fine and in line with the university's guidelines. What are some of the synonyms for each of your keywords? Go back to your worksheet now and try to identify as many synonyms as possible for each key word. You don't have to use all of them for your search string, but it's good to have options. First, try to identify some synonyms by yourself. Then, using the TIC framework, create a prompt that will help you brainstorm synonyms. Again, there's one on screen for you to adapt if you're unsure. Pause this video and complete step 3 of the worksheet. You should now be ready to start looking for information to start answering your research question or assignment title. You'll have a bank of words that you can use in various different combinations to extract the information relevant to your information need. Sessions S2 and S3 will help you identify where and how to start this search, and both will be so much easier now you know how to complete the first step of strategic searching and identifying your information need. But before you go, please take a moment to provide us with some feedback on what you thought about this session. It's anonymous and really helpful to us. There is plenty of help available to you from the library team, regardless of what stage of your study or research you are at. A good place to start is the Library Support Learning Hub page, available from the top ribbon, dropped down under Student Info. Our dedicated Learning Hub page will provide you with a selection of self-guided videos or online lessons to help you improve your information literacy skills. And remember to keep an eye out for our skills sessions throughout the year. Many thanks. But if you prefer a more personal touch, or if you're unsure as to what help you might need, then you can get in touch with us in various ways. Either way, we're here to help you get the most out of the resources curated for you in the library and to give you the best possible chances to succeed in your studies. Thank you for listening.